Your safety, the safety of your fellow employees, and the safety of the general public is very, very important. And taking steps to ensure that every member of our team is aware of and complies with our safety policies and safe work practices is one of our highest priorities. This video program is the beginning of that process. We have a comprehensive safety manual covering the policies and safe work practices for all operations of the company. This manual includes policies regarding a large number of safety concerns: personal protective equipment, forklift training and certification, lockout, tagout procedures, our hazard communications program, hearing protection, most any safety concern faced in our operations. There is a separate manual just covering safe driving practices. Your supervisor will instruct you on the safety policies and safe work practices applicable to your specific job, and will make a copy of those policies available upon your request. The purpose of this video is to give you a broad introduction to the importance of safety at Zeeland Lumber and Supply, highlighting some key safety rules you need to know, and telling you how to get access to our safety policies. To begin, we want to make sure you are aware of one factor that impacts your safety more than anything else, and that is you. Most on-the-job injuries are not caused by equipment malfunctions or by a poorly designed facility. They are caused by tired or distracted employees, by employees who are rushing their work, by employees who try to lift more than they can, and by employees who are being careless in their actions. The most important factor impacting your safety is you. So let's talk about your role in your safety and the safety of those you work with. When you take steps to be healthy and well-rested, your chance of an injury goes way down. Fatigue is a big contributing factor to workplace injuries, and we strongly recommend you get plenty of sleep every day. Late nights should not be a habit. Eating a well-balanced diet, getting regular exercise, and washing your hands frequently should be a habit, and are things that will help you stay healthy. Healthy employees feel better, have more energy, more easily meet our attendance and punctuality expectations, and work more safely. If you have personal problems, and we all do at times, do your best to leave that baggage at home because they can distract you from your work and from your working safely. If you get upset at something or someone during your workday, take a short break to cool down. People who work when they are upset are more prone to injure themselves. As a result of our successful sales team, we are faced with a lot of work, and sometimes we feel like we don't have enough time to get it done. We want you to be quick and efficient, but we don't want you to hurry. There will always be enough time to get the job done safely, and employees who rush through their work often make mistakes. When the work involves lifting, operating heavy tools, or using powered equipment, the mistakes can result in an injury. Work efficiently, work quickly, and work smart, but don't rush your work. And don't try to lift more than you're able. Trying to lift items that are too heavy for one person often result in muscle or back strains. Don't hurt yourself by trying to show us you can do it. Get help when you need it. Speaking of lifting, make sure you use proper lifting techniques. Have secure footing when you lift something. Do not attempt to lift something by bending forward at the waist. Bend your knees to squat down to the item to be lifted, and get a secure grip before you lift. Lift with your legs, not your back. Do not twist your body when you're carrying something heavy, but turn with your legs. Always keep your line of vision parallel with the floor or ground. If you look down, perhaps looking at the item you're carrying or where you're walking, the alignment of your back changes and the risk of a back injury increases. One factor that must always be a focus for all employees is good housekeeping. A work area that is organized, kept free of scrap materials, and not cluttered with air hoses, extension cords, or unnecessary boxes of supplies is always safer than a cluttered, disorganized work area. There is a place for everything, and everything should be in its place. Every employee is expected to clean up their work area at the end of their shift, putting their tools away, clearing away any debris that may be hazardous to the next shift. Aisles and walkways should not be blocked. Stairs are not to be used as shelving, and exits must never be blocked, not even for just a minute or two. Wearing of the appropriate personal protective equipment is an important step to take seriously. When working in the yard, warehouse, plant, or delivery operations, you must wear OSHA-approved shoes. When working with power tools, eye protection is mandatory. Hearing protection is required in some areas of our truss and wall panel plants, and your supervisor will tell you if hearing protection is needed in your work area. If your work takes you out to a construction job site, you should have a hard hat available to put on if there is work being done above your head. One most important piece of personal protection equipment is the seat belt. Wearing a seat belt when driving a vehicle for Zeeland is required, and this includes driving a forklift. If the forklift moves, your seat belt must be fastened. One rule that is applicable to all employees is that if or when your work takes you into the yard, you must wear a high-visibility vest. If your job involves driving a delivery truck, service truck, or forklift, you cannot let yourself be a distracted driver. You must not use your phone while driving. The use of an earbud is strictly prohibited when you are driving a delivery or service vehicle, and is strongly discouraged for employees who work in yard, warehouse, or production operations. If your management does allow you to wear an earbud, you can only use one, not one in each ear. You must be able to hear what's going on around you. Your job may require you to operate a forklift. Although you may already know how to operate a forklift, our employees are not allowed to operate a forklift until they have been certified by our trainers. The only exception to this is when you are under direct supervision while being trained. If you have been hired as a driver, doing a daily inspection of your truck, following all the rules of the road, and properly securing your load, both for the protection of the general public and for the protection of the materials being transported, are three of your most important job responsibilities. Zeeland Lumber and Supply Company has lockout, tagout procedures for all hardwired equipment. These procedures are put in place to make sure a piece of equipment is not turned on when being worked on. If you wish to use a piece of equipment and find that it is locked out, you are not to circumvent the lock. Similarly, many of our tools and equipment have guards or safety features. You must never try to circumvent or disconnect them. If your job involves using powered equipment or driving vehicles, you must not do so if you're taking prescription medicine or over-the-counter medicines such as Benadryl. They carry warnings about operating heavy equipment or making you drowsy. If you're not sure whether a medicine impacts your ability to work, read the label thoroughly and discuss the matter with your supervisor. Zeeland Lumber and Supply, like most companies, has materials here that can present some hazards. Materials such as liquid nail, caulk, lubricants, and even wood dust, which does cause allergic reactions with some people. We have a hazard communications program that includes easily accessible safety data sheets for all such materials. These safety data sheets include important information about material, including treatment for exposure. Containers of hazardous products are labeled, and you should always check the label on the products with which you're working. Your supervisor will tell you where you can find safety data sheets. It is most important that you become familiar with your facility, with the location of emergency exits, and with the location of fire extinguishers. Should there be a small fire, such as one in a trash can, you can use the fire extinguisher to put the fire out if you're comfortable doing so. If there is a fire of significant size, don't try to fight it. Evacuate the facility in accordance with the emergency evacuation plan at your location. No Zeeland Lumber and Supply employee is expected to fight a fire, and we strongly recommend that you don't. Evacuate the facility and let the professional firefighters do their job. Despite the advice given in this program, and the instructions you'll receive from your supervisor and lead, you still may suffer an on-the-job injury. If that happens, you are expected to promptly report the injury to your supervisor. Your supervisor will help you get any needed medical attention and will assist you in completing the required forms. You are also expected to report any near-miss incident, an accident or injury that almost happened but didn't. We want to know about near-miss incidents so we can learn from those situations and avoid them in the future. Finally, we want you to know that there are safety committees at every location. They exist to keep the lines of communication open and to get input on safety issues from employees in all departments. If you're asked to participate on a safety committee, we strongly encourage you to do so. Thank you for joining the Zeeland Lumber and Supply team, and thank you for your close attention to this program. Your safety is one of the most important aspects of your employment here. We take it very seriously and expect you to do the same.